There are countless reasons to drink matcha tea, but in this video, we're going to break down 5 of the biggest reasons to start drinking this special powdered green tea. Matcha is becoming increasingly popular, and it's easy to see why. From its unique flavor profile to the plethora of health benefits, matcha commands a top spot in the world of tea. The first major reason why people drink matcha is because it's relatively high in caffeine. Although the caffeine level is not as high as a cup of coffee, a normal matcha tea will have only slightly less caffeine as an Arabica coffee. This is why a lot of people tend to switch from coffee to matcha. It provides some caffeine, but not quite as much as coffee. Furthermore, the tea has something that coffee does not have, and that is L-theanine. L-theanine is an amino acid that can slow the absorption of caffeine, giving you a longer lasting energy with less jitters and less of a crash later on in the day. But why does matcha have more caffeine? There are a few different factors that influence the caffeine level in a green tea. The first reason is the shading, the second reason is the presence of the stems, and the third reason is the leaves that are used. Matcha is one of the longest shaded teas, and during that long shading period, it develops more caffeine than its unshaded counterparts. Matcha is also made from the younger sprouts of the tea plant, which tend to be higher in caffeine than the larger, more mature leaves. Finally, to produce a matcha, the stems need to be removed entirely from the leaves before they are ground into a fine powder. The stems contain less caffeine than the leaves, so by removing them, the caffeine content per gram of tea is increased. If you use 2 grams or 1 teaspoon of matcha powder, you'll be getting around 68 milligrams of caffeine per bowl of matcha. If you're using lower quality culinary matcha, the caffeine content will be cut in half, as these teas are not made using the same careful steps in the production process. A second reason for drinking matcha is that it allows you to consume the entire tea leaf. When you drink most green teas, you're simply drinking an extraction of the tea leaves, but with matcha, you're drinking the entire leaf. You are simply mixing the tea leaf into water, and therefore nothing is getting thrown out. This means that you're getting more caffeine, more amino acids, and more antioxidants. If you were to grind up a regular green tea and mix it into water, it would be incredibly bitter, but because of matcha's careful production process where the stems are removed and only the best leaves are used, the tea still tastes smooth even when you drink the entire leaf. People who are drinking green tea for health benefits should be giving matcha tea a serious look. The third reason to drink matcha is because it can be easily mixed into a lot of different drinks and even food. We've seen some great ideas for matcha cocktails, mixing matcha tea with lime and carbonated drinks, and also matcha lattes, mixing tea with oat milk or coconut milk. You can even pour some matcha into an ice cube tray and freeze it overnight to make matcha ice cubes. These are not only useful for keeping your matcha latte cold, but they're also fun to keep in your freezer in case you want to add a little extra matcha flavor to your favorite drink. Of course, many people also use matcha in desserts, which is another option. Because this tea comes in a powdered form, it's easy to mix into all sorts of different creations. A fourth benefit of matcha that's rarely talked about is how easy it is to prepare. While there are many steps you can take to make your matcha tea slightly better, such as sifting the powder beforehand and mixing it with a bamboo whisk, the basics are simple. All you need to do is combine the powder into water and then you have a tea. This can be done with both hot and cold water, and it can be done with many different tools such as a shaker jar, a metal whisk, a milk frother, and even a fork. Of course, the bamboo whisk still is the best tool, but if you don't think you have the time to use one, we totally understand. If you really are pressed for time, you can even just shake up some matcha in your water bottle. Because regular green tea has to be extracted, things like water temperature and brewing time are a lot more important. The content of your sencha tea will be entirely different depending on whether you use 140-degree water or 170-degree water. With matcha, you don't need to worry about this as much, as the whole leaf is going to be mixed in either way, so you can pretty much do whatever is most convenient as long as you like the taste. The simple process of mixing the powder into water is very easy and probably will even take less time than preparing a tea bag. The final reason to drink matcha is because of its unique flavor profile. As we mentioned before, matcha tea allows you to drink the entire leaf rather than just an extraction. This will make the flavor denser and more concentrated. It also stresses the importance of getting a good matcha. A premium okumidori matcha is so smooth it almost tastes like milk, but the more common yabukita matchas have a much more stronger character to them. You can expect flavors of wheatgrass, edamame, and even seaweed. The tea will taste unlike any other green tea you've had in the past. It has more brothy characteristics, almost like a soup. You may notice some sweetness and even a hint of these lighter floral notes depending on the tea. If you want to get into matcha but you don't quite yet like the flavor, we recommend starting off with a matcha latte and then using less milk and less sweetener each time until you like the flavor. Over time, your taste buds will evolve and you'll be able to pick up on and appreciate the subtleties of the matcha. I hope you have all found at least one reason to enjoy matcha tea from this video. Thank you all so much for watching. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave them in the comments below. Otherwise, we'll see you next time.